everyone, welcome back to a new post today, and let's begin something which we used to do previously, and that's about the weekly current affairs with regard to your polity and governance and also the economic issues. And let me start with the very first week of January, that's the first week of January from 1st to 6th of January. Let's track the important polity and governance issues for the week of January 1st to January 6th, and this will help us to keep track of various issues and also fasten and better our preparation for the UPSC and other state service examinations as well. So I think this is the right time for us to track the polity and economy issues for the week. So it's like a weekly update for you which you can track every week. And let's get into the topics. So this session is about the polity and governance. It's going to help you in the UPSC GS paper 2, your essay, as well as your APPSC and TSPSC group 1 examinations as well. So the very first thing is about Election Commission now tweaking the rules with regard to allocation of symbols to political parties. We know that the political parties are recognized by the Election Commission, and also they are allocated symbols for recognition. So we have two types of political parties. One are registered but they are unrecognized, and the other are recognized political parties which have their own symbol with regard to which they can be identified during the elections. Now the Election Commission of India now recently brought about some new rules for allocation of symbols to registered but unrecognized political parties. So what exactly are the recognized political parties? So the Election Commission of India, let me tell you, gives these symbols under the Election Symbols Order of 1968. Political parties are recognized into national parties and state level parties under the Representation of People Act 1951. So there is certain criteria for a political party to be a recognized national party. Now we have several national recognized political parties, and there is a certain criteria that political parties have to fulfill to be recognized as state parties. So a recognized political party is one that is recognized by the Election Commission of India, and it will enjoy privileges like a reserved party symbol. So each political party will have their own symbol, free broadcast time on the state-run television and radio, consultation in setting of the election dates, and also giving input in setting electoral rules and regulations as well. Now other political parties that wish to contest local, state, national elections are required to be registered by the Election Commission of India. Registered parties are upgraded as recognized national parties or state parties by the Election Commission of India when they meet the relevant criteria after the Lok Sabha and the State Legislative Assembly election. Now the recognized party status is reviewed periodically by the Election Commission of India, and certain parties can also be scrapped of the position of national recognized party status and also state party status. So once the party is given a recognized status, it is not permanent and can be reviewed as well. So what is the recent change now? Now the Election Commission of India has tweaked the rules with regard to recognized registered unrecognized political parties and made it mandatory for them to furnish the audit accounts of the last 3 financial years, expenditure statement of the last 2-year elections, and also the signature of the authorized office bearer of the party along with the application form of the symbols. Now registered unrecognized political parties are either newly registered political parties or those who have not secured enough percentage of votes in the assembly or the general elections to become a state party, or those that have never contested elections at all after being registered. Now common symbols are provided to the registered unrecognized political parties based upon an undertaking that they would put up at least 5% of the total candidates with regard to the legislative assemblies of that state. Earlier, the registered unrecognized political parties were giving these details separately, but now these details have to be made a part of the form of application for a common symbol. It was in just 2014 to ensure transparency that the Election Commission of India gave directions to these registered unrecognized political parties wanting to avail the benefit to have a common symbol that they have to submit the proof of having filed up-to-date contribution reports, audited annual reports, up-to-date election expenditure statements, etc. of the organization. So this is the change that is brought out by the political parties, where the details have to be given by the registered unrecognized political parties if they want to have a common symbol while fighting for the elections. And let me tell you that the next important issue is with regard to Adani. So, Supreme Court has upheld the SEBI probe now with focus on the Hindenburg conduct of reports. So, Supreme Court of India reinforced the ongoing investigation by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, giving a lot of trust into the body, the secondary market regulatory body, saying that there is no need for a CBI or a special investigation team looking into the issue. Now, the court dismissed the need for further probes and emphasized the adequacy of the SEBI's efforts in addressing allegations of conduct of accounting fraud and also stock manipulation, which is being alleged against Adani. Now, the ruling is a setback for the petitioners who wanted to have the case to be transferred to the CBI or a special investigation team, and the Supreme Court clearly told them not to believe in newspaper articles or third-party reports and have faith in the Security and Exchange Board of India and its investigation. So this is what the Supreme Court has said, and it is not denied giving the case to the CBI or the SIT. And the next most important issue is with regard to internal security, something which is related to insurgency and secessionist movement in the northeast, that is with regard to a demand for a separate Assam. Now, there is an organization called as United Liberation Front of Assam, and they have signed a peace deal with the center in December 29, 2023. This was a memorandum of settlement which has many clauses accelerating the state's development and also safeguarding the land and the political rights of the indigenous communities. So this ALFA, or the United Liberation Front of Assam, is a byproduct actually of the anti-foreigners Assam agitation that began way back in 1979 and then ended with the signing of the Assam Accord in 1985. Now, this movement started because of the fear of the Assamese and the other indigenous communities that were staying in Assam, that they would be pushed backward out of their own state or would lose out on opportunities because of the illegal immigrants that are coming from Bangladesh. And this triggered the agitation. While social organizations and students' bodies chose the path of agitation, some other groups of radicals like the United Liberation Front of Assam, including Arbinda Rajakova, Anup Chetia and Parush Barua, formed the ALFA, or the United Liberation Front of Assam, in 1979. This was with the aim to launch an armed struggle with the objective of having a sovereign and a separate Assam, separate from the Union of India. Now, the group took a decade to recruit, train in Myanmar, China and Pakistan, and they have their bodies even in these countries still now, before striking on a series of abductions and executions on the government agencies and officials. The government then responded in 1990 with a code name operation called as Operation Bajrang and banned the ALFA and declared Assam as a disturbed area and imposed the Armed Forces Special Powers Act into the region. In 1992, a group of the ALFA, or the United Liberation Front of Assam, decided then to surrender to the government and engage in dialogue with the government, and they came to be called as the Surrendered ALFA or the SALFA. Then which later was allegedly used by the state forces to actually help the state police forces and the government to execute and to identify the other faction of the ALFA, which were carrying out an armed struggle against the state government of India. And this SALFA, or the Surrendered ALFA group, helped the government to identify the hardliners and the members of the family, and in which there was a series of secret killings that were held. Therefore, now this group has therefore surrendered to the union government and has agreed to give up arms and join the mainstream. But there is a other faction of this led by Paresh Barua, who is against the talks with the government and still demands for a separate Assam. So what does the peace accord with the government do now, or will it achieve? So according to the memorandum of settlement, the ALFA has agreed to renounce violence, disarm, disband the armed organization, vacate their camps and participate in peaceful democratic process established by law. This is a marked shift towards non-violence, and it aims to ensure integrity of the country, contrary to demand for a separate state of Assam. The Ministry of Home Affairs said that it would have a time-bound program for catering to the demands of the outfit, and also would form a monitoring committee for this. The pact also underlined a comprehensive package now for Assam, which is about rupees 1 1.5 lakh crore for on-ground development of Assam. And the most significant part of this accord is the commitment to address the political demands of this body called as Alpha. On the similar lines, there is an organization in Meghalaya which is named as HNUTRIP National Liberation Council, or HNLC. It is a banned armed group in Meghalaya and has decided now to withdraw from the peace talks with the centre because of the centre's alleged indifference towards the demands. Now, this HNLC was formed in 1992 with the objective of transforming Meghalaya into a separate country for the Khasis there. And the HNLC came forward for formal talks just a year ago. The proscribed rebel outfit seeks to have a separate Meghalaya from the non-indigenous outsiders and to protect the rights of the Khasi youth. So the HNLC demands include lifting the ban on the outfit, withdrawal of all the pending cases against the members, and safe passage for us, the central leaders, to facilitate talks. Now, therefore, but unhappy with what the government was given them, now they have decided to pull out of the peace talks with the centre. And the next most important issue is with regard to our very own Lok Sabha MP Mahua Moitra, who was expelled from the Lok Sabha membership because of her role in the cash was query scam, where she gave her ID and a password to access a Lok Sabha account to allow a person to ask direct questions, and on this ground she was ethically expelled from the Lok Sabha membership. So she went to the Supreme Court, knocking the doors for justice and asking her to reinstate her. So the Supreme Court failed to give her an interim relief. She was expelled from the Lok Sabha for the cash for query scam. So this was after an ethics committee report recommended her expulsion from the parliament due to her giving a account and a password access of the Lok Sabha account for the membership to another person so that he could ask her directly questions, and there was an allegation that she took money to ask these questions. Now, the ethics committee has investigated the allegations made by one MP of BJP named as Nishikant Dubey on Mahua Moitra, and that she took a bribe from Darshan Hirandani for asking the questions in the Lok Sabha. Now, the big question behind this is, can MP be expelled from the parliament or disqualified? So a member of either House of the Parliament can be expelled or disqualified based on the incidents that lead to it, while an expelled member can fight the election back and can get re-elected. A disqualified member cannot do so based on the amount of position or conviction that he is facing. Now, Mahua Moitra has the option of going to the Supreme Court, which she did. However, there is one theory going around that under Article 122 of the Constitution gives immunity gives immunity to the procedures of the Lok Sabha from challenge of the court, and Article 122 says that the validity of the proceedings of the Parliament shall not be called into account on any ground of irregularity of procedure or in the case of any MP, and this cannot be questioned in any court of law. So this is what is said, and now she hasn't got any interim relief for the Supreme Court, therefore she'll have to come back after she gets elected once again from the Trinamool Congress party ticket. However, if she is disqualified based on the conviction, then she cannot fight elections for 6 years. There is nothing involved in disqualification right now, and it's only expulsion from the membership of the Lok Sabha. And the next most important issue, once again, it's about internal security. So we had our DGP and the IGP National Conference. It's the 58th conference that was taken place in Jaipur with a comprehensive agenda about discussion of various topics like biological and chemical warfare, weaponization of the social media, addressing the threats posed by the AI, and also tools like deepfake. Now, the 3-day conference focused on discussing challenges posed by the artificial intelligence, cyber security, counterterrorism, left-wing extremism, narcotics smuggling, which are all coming under organized crime, and they are the most important security challenges to the internal security situation of India, and also a part of the security challenges on the global level as well. Now, the conference is being held to discuss a wide range of policing and also internal security issues with regard to all the above which I just spelled out, and it is the culmination of extensive deliberations involving policing and and intelligence officers from district, state and national levels. The best practices of all the states will be discussed in the conference so that they can learn from each other. Let me tell you that law and order is a state subject under the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. And the DGPs and the IGs play a very, very important role at the state level with regard to internal security, law and order being a state subject. So the DGP, if you see, he heads the state police force, and below him is the additional DGP. Then comes the Inspector General of Police, who heads a zone, and then you have the Deputy Inspector General of Police, then a Senior Superintendent of Police who heads a large police district. Then you have Superintendent of Police, who is the head of the whole district, Additional Superintendent of Police, and then you have Assistant Deputy Superintendent of Police, who heads a subdivision. You have the middle level subordinates are the inspector, sub-inspector and the assistant sub-inspector, who head the police station in urban areas and also the police station in the rural areas. And the lower rung is the lower subordinates, which constitute 86% of the police force in the state. They are the head constables and the constables. So these officers play a very, very important role with regard to internal security situation of the country, and therefore this conference is of immense importance. And another most important issue is with regard to family politics. Now, Jharkhand CM plans to resign and he plans to anoint his wife as the chief minister. So, he is the existing chief minister named as Hemant Soren. However, he is facing charges of money laundering by the Enforcement Directorate, and therefore he is liable to be convicted and also will face disqualification. Therefore, he will resign and give over the charge to his wife, and this has happened many a times. So, once the chief minister resigns, the government falls down, but then immediately when the same party appoints another leader of the party as the chief minister, the government continues on the same ground. And this is not a very new issue. It has happened previously as well. So if you look at the instances in which the wife of the CM became a CM, or even the relatives of the chief minister, India has been the home to dynastic politics, and there have been several occasions on which spouses, kins, relatives took over as the CM of the chief state. Let us look at some of the examples. So in Tamil Nadu, we had V.N. Janaki Ramachandra, who was the wife of M.G. Ramachandra, became the chief minister of Tamil Nadu for 23 days in the year 1988. After the demise of MGR, she was the first minister of Tamil Nadu. In 1999, Jayalalitha became the CM of the state. She was one of the closest aides of MGR, and now currently the chief minister is M.K. Stalin, who is the second son of the former chief minister Karunanidhi, and he first was the deputy chief minister in Tamil Nadu from 2009 to 2011. And we had in Bihar, when Rabri Devi became the first female chief minister of Bihar in 1997. She became the chief minister after her husband Lalu Prasad resigned following the arrest warrant in a fodder scam case, and then she went on to serve as a chief minister from 1997 to 2005. And the current deputy CM of Bihar, Tejasvi Yadav, is the son of Lalu Prasad Yadav. In Jammu and Kashmir, we have Mehbooba Mufti, who became the first woman chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir after the death of her father, Mufti Mohammad Saeed, and his party formed the government in alliance with the BJP. In 2009, Omar Abdullah, the son of the former CM, Farooq Abdullah, became the chief minister of the state. In Uttar Pradesh, the son of the former UP chief minister Mulayam Singh Yadav, Akhilesh Yadav, became the chief minister of UP in 2012. Akhilesh Yadav has been serving the Samajwadi Party since then, and also his wife Dimple Yadav is an MP in the Lok Sabha as well. Andhra Pradesh, you have the current chief minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, who is the son of the former chief minister of the United Andhra Pradesh, Y.S. Rajashekara Reddy, and he who served as the 14th chief minister of Andhra Pradesh between 2004-2009. Before, we had Kiran Kumar Reddy, and aftermath we had Telangana and Andhra Pradesh divided into two separate states. In Karnataka, we have H.D. Kumaraswamy, who served as twice as the chief minister of Karnataka, though just for a brief period, and as the son of the former chief minister of the state, H.D. Devagowda. In Maharashtra, we have the deputy chief minister Ajit Pawar, who is the nephew of the former Maharashtra chief minister Sharad Pawar. And in Jharkhand, we have the current chief minister Hemant Soren, who is the son of the head of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, Shibu Soren. He was a former chief minister of Jharkhand. And in Odisha, also the current chief minister CM Naveen Patnaik is the son of the former CM Biju Patnaik. So these are some of the many examples where spouses, sons and also relatives of the chief ministers became the successors in a bid to retain the power within the family as is alleged by the opposition parties, and which is called as dynastic politics. So the other most important issue is with regard to the expulsion of the suspension of 146 members of the parliament during the last winter session of the parliament, and the MPs in both the houses of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, not only Lok Sabha, face suspension due to the disruption in the parliamentary proceeding in protest of the breach of security situation in the parliament. So the big question here is, can a MP be suspended from as a member of the parliament? And this is yes. The general principle is that the heads of the presiding officers of the Lok Sabha, Speaker and the chairman of the Rajya Sabha maintain order so that the house can function smoothly, and in order to ensure that the proceedings are conducted in a very proper manner, the Speaker or the Chairman is empowered to force the member to withdraw from the House. The rules of the Lok Sabha and the rules of the Rajya Sabha provide the powers to the Speaker and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha to suspend the MPs from the House for the disruptive, for the unruly behavior. So the rules of procedure and the conduct of business in the Lok Sabha, Rule 373 says that the Speaker can direct a member to withdraw immediately from the House if he finds the member's conduct very disorderly. The member so ordered should withdraw from the House forthwith and must remain absent during the remainders of the day's sitting. And rule number 374 says that the Speaker can name a member who disregards the authority of the chair or abuses the rules of the House by persistently and willfully obstructing the business thereof, and the member so named will be suspended from the House for a period of not extending the remainder of the session, which was done recently. So it was done under the rules of the Lok Sabha 374, and a member suspended under this rule shall withdraw from the presence of the House. And rule number 374A of the Lok Sabha says that in case of gross violation or severe charges on being named by the Speaker, the member stands automatically suspended from the service of the House for 5 consecutive sittings or for the remainder of the session, whichever is less. And it was under this rule 374A that the members of the Lok Sabha were suspended. Similar rules are there under the rules of procedure and conduct of business of the Rajya Sabha as well. And recently, the Parliament said that the citizenship amendment rules will be passed before the Lok Sabha election. So the Citizenship Amendment Act was passed by the Parliament in 2019. It is yet to be implemented. It will be implemented only after the rules are notified by the Ministry of the Home Affairs. The legislation facilitates citizenship to the undocumented people who came illegally to India from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, belonging to the minority communities in that country, that is if they belong to the Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Parsi, Christian and Jain communities from the 3 neighboring countries who entered India on or before December 31st, 2014. The Act reduces the requirement for the aggregate stay in India for the applicants from 6 communities from 11 years to 6 years. So if they completed 6 years in India, they will be eligible to get the citizenship of India under the CAA rules, which will be released very soon, said the government. So the next most important issue is with regard to the pleas in the Supreme Court challenging the appointment process of the Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioner under Article 324 of the Indian Constitution. If the President appoints the Election Commission, the Chief Election Commissioner, the manner of the appointment can be included in an Act of the Parliament. And similarly, we have the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioners Appointment, Conditions of Service and Terms of Office Act of 2003. And recently, the Parliament passed an amendment which governs the selection and appointment of the CEC and the ECs. So recently in the March 2023, the Supreme Court said that the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha and the CJI, so it had the participation of the Chief Justice of India to pick the names for the CEC and the Election Commission commissioners, other election commissioners. So we have the Election Commission of India consisting of the Chief Election Commissioner and 2 other election commissioners. It is a multi-member body. So recently the Amendment Act was passed to this, and now the Selection Commission does not include the CJI but includes the Prime Minister as chairperson as existed, the Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha as existed as a member, but now in place of the Chief Justice of India we will have a Union Cabinet Minister to be named as a member by the Prime Minister, and this goes against the Supreme Court orders of March 2023. Therefore there is a plea at the Supreme Court seeking the inclusion of the Chief Justice of India in the election for the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioner. So the Chief Election Commissioner, other Election Commissioners' appointment, conditions of service, terms of office Act of 2023 has provisions for setting up a search committee headed by the Union Law Minister and 2 other persons not below the rank of the Secretary to prepare a name of panel of 5 persons for consideration of the selection committee for the appointment to the CECs and the ECs. And recently the truck drivers have been criticizing the new law which is brought in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which replaces the Criminal Procedure Code. So we have a change in the criminal laws. We have 3 laws replacing the IPC, the Indian Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code. Recently the truck drivers in India have been protesting against the newly going to be implemented Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which includes increased penalties for hit and run incidents on the roads, and the focal point of the contention is the legal structure pertains to the increase in the penalty for the hit and run cases, which is criticized by the truck drivers who refer to as at Kala Kanun or black law. The truck drivers protested against the implementation of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the new criminal code, which increases the penalties for hit and run cases to 10 years from the existing IPC of 2 years and the fine of 7 lakh rupees. So this is the bone of contention between the centre and the truck drivers. So do we really need such a high penalty and a fine for this? So let's look at some of the data. The number of road accidents in India went up by an alarming 12% to 4.6% in 2022, resulting in the death of 19 persons per hour, according to the recent report of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. The report also showed that 53 road accidents occur every hour in the country. A total of 4,61,000 road accidents have been reported by the state and the union territories during the calendar year of 2022, which claimed 1,68,000 lives and caused injuries to 4,43,000 persons. So this marks an increase of 11.9% in the accidents, 9.4% in the fatalities, 15.43% in the injuries compared to the previous years, said the report titled Road Accidents in India 2022. And hit from back accounted for the largest share of total accidents, 19.5% in 2022, followed by hit and run and head-on collision, which accounted for 18.1 and 15.7 respectively. So this is about the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita increase in the jail term and also the fine for hit and run cases. But however, the government said that if the person, in case he has hit the person, but he stops and informs the ambulance and also the police station, the penalty and the jail term will be reduced. However, there is no the truck drivers aren't accepting this side of explanation from the central government. So it's wait and watch to see what the central government will do with regard to the hit and run law of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And this is all for the weekly news with regard to polity and governance for the first week from January 1st to January 6th. And I hope this really helped you all. If you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and do not forget to comment. And I shall see you in my next post with the weekly economy of current affairs for January 1st to 6th tomorrow. And until then, it's very happy learning.